सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतं वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। So we have seen up to the Padasamanvayaha Pityeta. So the Padasamanvayaha, meaning, the very structure of a sentence. It is a certain grammatical structure. That grammatical structure would be affected, meaning you have to renounce, you have to compromise with the very grammatical structure of a statement. If you interpret, a statement of fact as a statement of attitude, a statement of belief. A statement of fact cannot be interpreted as a statement of belief and belief-based attitude and attitude-based worship, upasana. So, in a statement of, we have Vakya, Vailakshanyam, there is a difference between a statement of upasana and a statement of fact. That difference is very, very clear. That difference always is iti upasita, iti upasita, iti upasita. You see, that iti upasita. May you look upon, that look upon is called upasana. You look upon Ganga as sacred, that's called upasana. But Ganga is water. You don't look upon Ganga as water. Ganga is water. You don't look upon it. Ganga is water. Similarly, fire is hot. You don't look upon fire as hot. You may look upon fire as divine, as God, Agni Devata. That is Devata Buddhi. Agnau, Agni Buddhi is knowledge about the fire. Agnau Devata Buddhi is attitude. It's an attitude, and attitude is something that is totally Purusha Tantra, subjective. You can choose to look upon it as Devata. You can choose not to look upon it. It's a Purusha Tantra Vyapara, it's a very subjective attitude. But Vedanta doesn't have the theme of Vedanta is not a subject matter for attitude. The theme of Vedanta is not the subject matter for belief or attitude or worship. It's a matter for understanding. That is, this is very important to Vedanta. Next line. Vidyate hridaya grandhihi छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः इति जैवमादीनि अविद्या निवृत्तिफलश्रवणानि उपरुच्येरन्. See, the Shruti always talks about the fruits of upasanas. Because upasana has a phalam. The fruits of upasana are always referred to as Vishaya Sukha Prapti, Loka Prapti. Understand? No? Pitriloka Prapti, Swargaloka Prapti or Brahmaloka Prapti. Loka Prapti. Loka Prapti is a comprehensive term. The Prapti achieving any material object comes under Loka Prapti. It's a Loka Prapti. Loka means an object. Lokyate iti loka. Drishyate loka. It's a Loka Prapti. Whether it is a Prapti in terms of the objects here or Prapti in terms of another material world after death, material pleasures here, hereafter, name here and hereafter, kirti here and hereafter, comforts here and here, anything material, a part of creation. Any detail which is a part of the creation can be called Loka Prapti. Whereas the fruit of Vedanta Vakya, the fruit of Brahma Vidya is always referred to as the Sansara Nivritti. Sansara Nivritti. Sansara Nivritti cannot be Loka Prapti. See? Therefore, Vastu Paravakyam cannot be interpreted as Upasana Paravakyam because the fruits of both of them are different. And that is what is said here. It says, my dear sir, not only the grammatical structure of the Vastu Paravakya would be affected if you interpret the statement of fact in the sense of statement of Upasana, but also there are Vakyas talking about, this is called, Phalashruti. Phalashruti means Phalko Batane Wala Shruti. So the statements talking about the fruit of Upasana or the fruit of Karma or the fruit of Vastu Paravakyam, that Phalashruti, that is, this is Phalashruti, Vidyate Hridaya Grandhihi, is a Phalashruti. Phalashruti, this Phala is nothing but the very correction of the Vidyate Hridaya Grandhihi. The heart knot is broken. When you come to know the Vastu about yourself, the reality about yourself, your heart knot, Hridaya Grandhihi, meaning avidya. Hridaya Grandhihi is a knot between Atma and Deha, is called heart knot. Hrit means awareness. Chandogya Shruti explains Ayam means Deha. Hrit Ayam means, Hridayam. The knot between the Aparoksham and the Pratyaksham. The knot between the Aparoksha Atma and the object, the subject and the object, this heart knot, Vidyate is broken. Hridaya Grandhihi. Then bhidyate, yak bhidyate, hridaya grandhi, chidyante, are broken. Sarva samshayaha, all doubts. All doubts are broken means all doubts are removed. Are answered or removed, it doesn't matter. Chidyante sarva samshayaha, bhidyate hridaya grandhi, chidyante sarva samshayaha, kshiyante chasya karmani, and all his karmas are kshiyante, perish. Kshiyante ja asya jivasya karmani, all karmas come to an end. Tasmin drishte paravare, paravare atmani drishte, well, vidyate hridaya grandhi iti. So this is something, it's a phalashuddhi. Phala means here the phalam is not something, it is not gaining an object, it is becoming free from avidya. Freedom from avidya, freedom from the error, and freedom from the error-based sansara is the phalam of Vedanta Jnanam. Whereas all the upasanas, their phalashuddhis, they talk about this loka prapti, that loka prapti. Now here Bhashyakara wants to say, my dear sir, vidyate hridaya grandhi chidyante sarva samshayaha iti cha evam adini. इस प्रकार की आदीनि वाक्यानि, इत्येवम् आदीनि वाक्यानि, इति च एवम् आदीनि, इति च एवम् आदीनि वाक्यानि. What are these vakyas? Avidya nivritti phala shravanani. अविद्या निवृत्ति फल को बताने वाले. अविद्या निवृत्ति फल. अविद्या निवृत्ति itself is the phalam. Shravanani means sunane wale. Avidya phala nivritti shravanani means, in the vakyas in which there is, we hear, in the vakyas in which we hear, the avidya nivritti, freedom from the error alone as the fruit. Avidya nivritti phala shravanani uparujyeran would be affected. Uparujyeran would be affected. Uparot ho jayenge. Rudhadhat. Uparujyeran. Iran. So vidhilinga and pratham purusha bahuvachanam. Uparujyeran. They would be affected. They would be stifled. They would be stifled. Meaning, upasana, the Vedanta never says that you do this upasana, you will become free from avidya. Avidya nivritti as the phalam is not mentioned, avidya nivritti is not mentioned as the fruit of any upasana. Avidya nivritti is not mentioned as the fruit of any upasana. In fact, all upasanas take place only within avidya. And the fruits of all upasanas are only in the form of prapti. That is why Tedam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam shine punne martyalokam vishanti patanti, Bhagavan says. Having experienced the vast worlds of sense pleasures like heaven, etc., and having exhausted the karma, he will again come back. He will come back, he will come down crashing. See, the jiva will fall down, crashing, Bhagavan says. So that means nowhere in the Shruti, supposing there is even one place where avidya nivritti is mentioned as the fruit of upasana, then we can get some doubt. There is a place. But upasana is attitude, and attitude presupposes really self-error, and attitudes are subjective, and therefore really They all take place within ignorance, and therefore ignorance-born upasana cannot remove. Ignorance-born upasana cannot remove ignorance. Clear? Therefore, vidyate hridaya grandhi chidyante sarvasamshayaha iti jaivamadina vidya nivrutti palashavanani uparucheran. What does it matter? Let them be affected. You can't say that. You can't go on really interpreting the vakyas by way of really killing their grammatical structure, killing their syntax, and killing the vision. I mean, there is an accepted tradition that upasanas are for loka prapti and vidya is for moksha prapti. And I won't accept the accepted tradition. I say it is accepted not because, you don't have to accept because it was accepted. I say that alone is acceptable, therefore it is accepted. Acceptedness doesn't establish acceptability, but acceptability establishes acceptedness. Understand? What is within Anubhava is, any attitude is subjective, it can only bring about a limited result, whereas the knowledge of a fact removes the ignorance of the fact. That is what is evident. And based upon that evident reality, traditions are born. Traditions are rooted in clarity. Traditions we don't accept just because it is a tradition. Tradition we don't accept just because it is a done thing. Therefore, this is how it has been going on, therefore I do it. There are some of the things, they are customs. They can all be changed. But when we are talking about the Shastram, the theme of the Shastram, it's not a custom. It's not a changeable custom. That the karma brings about only limited result is not a custom. That the upasana brings about only limited result is not a custom. That's a fact about it. That the jiva's knowledge about himself has to be true to his own self as it is evident in all the three states, and that knowledge removes ignorance about it, and the removal of the ignorance removes samsara is not a custom. It is customary for ignorance to go when knowledge comes. It's not. Changeable customs, they are what? You can make traditions, you can remove traditions. Not a big deal about it. Therefore, this can't be done. Shravanadinu varudhyeran, next vakya. Brahma ved brahmaiva bhavati. Iti jaivamadini. Tadbhavapatti vachanani. Sampadadi pakshe. Na samanjasyena. Upapadyeran. Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati. The one who comes to know Brahman, yo Brahma Veda, Veda means Veti, so yo Brahma Veti, Brahmaiva Bhavati, he becomes Brahman. Iti Vakya. But Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati, it is not Sampad Upasana. Here, in this particular Vakya, what is refuted here is Sampadrupa Upasana. Sampadrupa Upasana is knowing oneself as similar to Brahma doesn't make one Brahma. It's a similarity. Sampadrupa Upasana is based on certain similarity. See, Sampadrupa Upasana is based on certain similarity. In the last class I explained. So, Brahman is Chetanam, Jiva is Chetanam, therefore Jiva is Brahman. This kind of thing also. Brahma Veda, Brahma eva bhavati. How can it become that? You see? So you see if Jiva is conscious and Brahman is also conscious, but then even though I am conscious, I feel limited and Brahman is unlimited. So the limited conscious being, by meditating upon himself as Brahman, that Veda means Upasita if you interpret. So I meditate upon myself because I have the quality of Brahman. Brahman is conscious, I am also conscious. So on the basis of this similarity, if I meditate upon myself, meaning I look upon myself as Brahman. This is called meditation. I look upon myself as Brahman on the basis of the similarity of consciousness. How do I become unlimited? How do I become unlimited? Brahman is unlimited consciousness. I am limited consciousness. Only Chetanatvam is taken as the similarity, not unlimitedness. If unlimitedness is similarity, then it leads to another school. Then there will be no upasana anyway. If you are unlimited, then why do you want to do upasana anyway? If you are unlimited, then why do you have to look upon that unlimited as you? If you are also unlimited, Brahman is unlimited. Let us say there are two unlimiteds. I am just imagining. So let us imagine. So it's a very constructive imagination. So I am unlimited conscious being, and there is another Brahman which is unlimited conscious being. Now how should I, why should I look upon me, the conscious being, as that? What do I get? Because you have no reason to feel inferiority complex, to impose that on yourself. Like, I wish I were Amitabh Bachchan, or I wish I were this, or I wish I were that, because of the complex. But that is an unlimited conscious being. I am also unlimited conscious being. Why should I look upon myself? Why should I look upon myself as that? There is no basis for upasana. Okay, now we take the second alternative, that is unlimited conscious being. I am a limited conscious being, and if I meditate upon myself as Brahman, because I enjoy a given quality called consciousness, so just because I look upon myself as Brahman, how do I become unlimited? I continue to be limited conscious being. Brahma Veda, Brahmaiva Bhavati, it is said here. The one who comes to know Brahman becomes Brahman. And he becomes Brahman means only, he becomes only free from Jivatvam. That is a further Siddhanta. That's a different matter. But he does become Brahman. What is the kind of becoming? That is a different topic. But the Shruti does say that the Jiva, one who comes to know Brahman, he becomes Brahma. Then what is the nature of that becoming? We will explain. That becoming is like, it is like the 10th man becomes the 10th man. So that means he becomes free from the idea that he is not the 10th man, it is only avidya nivritti. Now, Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati iti cha evamadini. The vakyas like this, Tadbhava apatti vachanani. The vakyas which talk about the jiva becoming Brahma. Tadbhava means Brahma bhava. Brahma bhava apatti. Apatti means, achieving. Brahma bhava apatti. Brahma bhava apatti means prapti. Apatti means prapti. Brahma bhava apatti. Brahma bhava prapti. Vachanani. These are the statements which talk about the jiva himself becoming Brahman by knowing Brahman. He comes to know Brahman, he becomes Brahman. Iti vachanani sampadadi pakshe. And if these vakyas are interpreted in the sense of sampadrupa upasana, sampadadipakshe, na samanjasyena upapadyeran would not be tenable properly. Na upapadyeran would not be tenable. Upa pad dhatu, padyeran, divadigana, padyeran, upapadyeran. Understand? Upadyeran. Samanjasyena, samanjasata se means appropriately, it would not be tenable, it would not be correct. Na samanjasyena upapadyeran, these vakyas would not be right to say that the limited conscious being, by meditating upon the unlimited conscious being, would become the unlimited conscious being, quote unquote, would not be logically correct. It would not be logically correct. However much you meditate upon something which you are not, you can never become it. Asamanjasyena upadyeran. If that is true, if I become what I think on, if I meditate upon something and I become that, then that means the drashta meditates upon a ghata. I meditate on a pot. And the drashta becomes what? Pot. And who has to register that fact? I mean, how do you prove that the drashta has become the pot? Supposing the drashta becomes the drishya, that means drashta ceases to be drashta, and drashta became drishya, the pot. Then that he became the pot, how do you establish? How do you establish? Because you have become drishya. That means I should have the knowledge that I was drashta before, and now I have become drishya. And to think in that manner, that means I must know what I was before, and I must also know what I have become now, and now that means I should continue to be drashta. I should know that I was drashta. To think that I was drashta, what should I be? Drashta. And then I entertain an imaginary thought that I have become drishya. So this whole thinking presupposes my being drashta, which means I have not become drishya. I may imagine that I have become, but actually I can't become. The light can never become darkness, nor the darkness can ever transform and become light. The drashta is the light. And therefore, to say that the sampadrupa upasana converts the upasaka into the nature of the upasyam is not logically correct. Clear? Brahma Veda Brahmayava Bhavati Jaivamadini Tadbhav Apatti Vachanani Sampadadi Pakshe Na Samanjasyena Upapadyeran Tasmat Na Sampadadi Rupam Brahmatmaikatva Vijnanam. Tasmat, therefore, Brahmatma Ekatva Vijnanam, the knowledge that the Atma is Brahman, na sampadadi rupam. It is not in the form of upasana like sampadadi. Sampadadi rupam, see, in understandable terms, just an attitude, belief. Based on certain belief, it's a belief. I look upon Shiva Linga as Shiva, is a belief. It's a belief. Therefore, understanding Atma as Brahman is not a belief, is not attitude, subjective attitude also. This is very important. That is why the Chatussutri has to be, the 4 sutras have to be studied, because especially the 4th sutra needs to be studied by every student of Vedanta, because it so happens that Bhashyakara has spent a lot of time to show the difference between upasanas and jnanam. Jnanam is different from these upasanas and attitudes and beliefs. Nothing, no mysticism in it. And he gives the example, Brahma Vidya is exactly like knowing a pot. Meaning, how Pramana Siddham, you come to know a sense object as it is revealed by the senses. So do you come to know yourself as it reveals itself independent of the senses, as it is self-evident. No need to imagine its nature. That is why it is na sampadadi rupam brahmatmaikatva vijnana ataham na purusha vyapara tantram Brahma Vidya. Therefore, Brahma Vidya is na purusha vyapara tantra. You see, Brahma Vidya Strilingam, and therefore, na purusha tantra, purusha vyapara tantra. It is not dependent on the choice of man. The subjective likes and dislikes of man. You see, there is a choice. We have to see the linkage between choice and likes and dislikes. We cannot use our choice independent of likes and dislikes. Choice implies likes and dislikes. Please understand. Choice implies likes and dislikes. Therefore, self-knowledge is not by choice, means self-knowledge doesn't depend upon one's likes and dislikes. One's likes and dislikes. I like to go, I choose to go. I dislike going, therefore I choose not to go. Otherwise, on what basis I choose to do? On what basis I choose not to do? If there is no subjective like and dislike, then it would become impulse. I mean, like in the case of animals, there also some choice will be there. Therefore, Purusha Tantra Vyapara, choice always is based on Raga and Dvesha. Raga and Dvesha. And when I come to know fire as hot, it is not based on my like. It's not my attitude. It's a fact. It's not my attitude. If I look upon fire as fire god, Agni Devata, then it is that attitude. I choose to entertain that attitude that it is fire Devata because I like it. I like it. And not only that, it is Chodana Tantram. It is not only Purusha Tantram, it is also Chodana Tantram. So, sometimes the Chodana Tantra becomes the Purusha Tantra, and sometimes it is not Chodana Tantra, but still it is Purusha Tantra. I want to take Karela. What is it? Chodana Tantra? Does Veda say eat Karela? If Veda says eat Karela, then what is it? It is a Chodana Tantra. Chodana Tantra means it's a Vedic injunction. And I accept it. I choose to accept it. And I follow it. So then what is it? It is Chodana Tantra and Purusha Tantra also. But Veda doesn't say eat Karela. But I like eating Karela, so I am eating Karela. Now eating Karela, in technical terms, what is it? Purusha Tantra. But it is not. It is not Chodana Tantra. Chodana Tantra. Now, Veda says, please speak the truth. This is Chodana Tantra, and I decide to speak truth. Then it becomes what? It is both Chodana Tantra and Purusha Tantra. I decide not to speak the truth. I decide to tell a lie. I choose to tell a lie. Then that is Purusha Tantra again. It is not Chodana Tantra, but Kevala Purusha Tantra. It's an impulse. But when it comes to realities, there my likes and dislikes have no role to play, and therefore choice has no role to play. That is why here he says, Ataha na Purusha Vyapara Tantra Brahma Vidya. It does not depend upon the functioning of human choice. Brahma Vidya does not depend upon the action of man. It does not depend upon any action. I don't perform any action. Oh, the sense organs which are Pratyaksha Pramana, the Pramanas reveal the objects, and truth is self-evident, and the self-evident nature of the self is not created by me. And the exposure to Vedanta Pramana only diverts my attention to it, only just conveys to me which I never thought about. And it conveys the factuality of the subject and the non-factuality of the object, the satyatvam of the fact, the satyatvam of the subject and the mithyatvam of the object. It only conveys, which I only see. I don't do anything, I only see. That means I don't do any vyapara. Purusha Tantra vyapara. Seeing the mithya as mithya is not Purusha vyapara. Seeing the mithya as mithya is it is Pramanajanya Jnanam. Seeing the Satyam as Satyam is also Pramanajanya Jnanam. And no Purusha Tantra, Purusha Vyapara is not, I don't have to do anything. There is no karma. Karma doesn't have, even a bit of karma has no role to play. Please understand. Karma has no role to play in freedom. Seeing a thing as it is not an act of seeing or anything. I mean, we say, yes, it is an act of seeing fire as fire. It is an act, but this act technically is not Purusha Tantra Vyapara. When we talk about karma, we mean only Purusha Tantra Vyapara, meaning actions which are totally based on human choice. Based on likes and dislikes. Swamiji, when I see fire as hot, is it not an act of seeing fire? Yes, if you can use the word act. But this action is not really action. You are not creating anything. It is only seeing what is there as it. It is only seeing a thing as it is. If you want to, describe seeing a fact as it is, if you want to term it as an act, I mean, it is up to you. But technically there is no action. Because technically action means it should create something new, or it should purify something, or it should modify something, or it should make you reach something. There are certain things. I mean, new additions are. You have to add something, etc. So I don't purify fire, I don't create fire, I don't modify fire, purify fire, I don't also reach fire, it is right there. It's not that really, the fire is not reached or anything, I just see it as it is. I don't take it somewhere. I see it as it is. It can't be technically karma. And similarly in Brahma Vidya, man can't do anything. He can't do anything. He has to see the Swadasiddham as it is evident in the three states. And therefore, how karma has no role to play in gaining what man wants. See, karma has no role to play in Brahma Vidya, meaning karma has no role to play in gaining moksha, meaning karma has no role to play in gaining what I want. My actions have no role to play in gaining what I want. See the problem. All that I do by my choice, all that I do by my impulses, all that I do by my what we call likes and dislikes, whatever I have been doing, the trend of my effort has no role to play in gaining what I want. In gaining what I want. That means Jiva's approach, Jiva's way, the way Jiva has been working, the way Jiva has been making effort for what he wants, that way of effort has no role to play. In fact, making effort the way he has been making effort for what he wants, it only comes in the way of the knowledge. Karma becomes a kind of that habit, getting used to karma, and the conclusion that the karma has to have a role to play. After all, moksha is a big result, and therefore bigger effort is required. This kind of logic only keeps one away from Vedanta. Karma has a role to play if I want some ghatapatadi cheese. That one need not confuse that small little things, trivial things in life. Swamiji, if you don't make any effort, what are you teaching? If you don't make effort, then how will we survive? Say, I am telling something so profound, and you are crashing into the trivialities. As if a survival, do whatever you want, what does it matter? You want to become an air hostess, all right, so it be. You want to become a pilot? Pilot, do roti ke liye kuch bhi karo. Because there is a logic. Because if I want something new, I have to work for it. There is no Vastu Tantra Vidya. Vastu Tantra Vidya will not bring you bread. Brahma Vidya will not bring you roti. Please understand. Brahma Vidya will remove Brahma Avidya. You may be liberated, but you will be a starving Jivan Mukta. You may be a Jivan Mukta, but starving. For which you better go and do something. There is a logic. But don't confuse immediately. What Vedanta is saying is something different. Actions have no relevance when it comes to understanding yourself. Ataha na purusha vyapara tantra brahma vidya kim tarihi pratyakshadi pramana vishaya vastu jnanavat vastu tantra. Says, hey, Brahma Vidya is exactly like this. Kim tarihi, then what? If it is not Purusha Tantra Vyapara, Purusha Vyapara Tantra, then what is it? Kim tarihi, tab kya hai ye? Pratyakshadi pramana vishaya vastu jnanavat. Like understanding is a physical fact as revealed by the senses. Pratyakshadi pramana. Pratyakshadi pramana ka vishaya, the object of, like the form. is the object of the eyes. Sounds are the objects of the ears. Pratyaksha, the pramana, vishaya. And that is a vastu of fact. What fact? A physical fact within the realm of the avidya. It is a fact. Pratyaksha, the pramana, vishaya, vastu. Jnana, knowledge. What? Like even that. Vastu tantra. It is vastu tantra. Just as the knowledge of a physical fact is indeed vastu tantra, it depends upon, it is true to the nature of the object as revealed by the senses. One doesn't have to unnecessarily again quibble here. So how do you know? You look at the pot, but different people look at the pot in different ways. Hey, you are saying different people look at the pot in different ways. That means you do say it is a pot. That is Vastu Tantra Jnana. The same tree, but that it is green. How many interpretations will be there? What is an object? It has a color, it has a touch, it has a taste, it has a smell. That's all pratyaksha pramana vishaya. You understand? That is why we have taken fire as hot, the sense of touch. Now how do you interpret that heat? Fire is hot. Sun is bright. Tree is green. Water is cool. The sense objects really, their nature only five. When you talk about really the factuality of the sense objects, please understand, the factuality of the sense object is only in terms of visibility, audibility, tastability, touchability, smellability, bas. Their factuality doesn't go beyond. And within this there are causations. Within these objects there are causations. Causation again, causation is between object and objects are both perceived as revealed by the senses. So there is no subjectivity involved in it. So just as there are no likes and dislikes involved in understanding the objects as they are revealed, I don't have to interpret. There is no interpretation. I have to see the objects as they are revealed, and any interpretation that would be what? Subjective likes and dislikes. Subjective likes and dislikes. Then you are imposing your emotions on it. Like Wordsworth sits in the garden and writes poems on, the nature. He's a nature poet. Now, a lot of it is what? Upasana. He was a nature upasaka. He was a nature upasaka. He's imposing his own emotions on them. Otherwise, what is a flower? And so what is a rose? It is rose in color. And it has this smell. And it is soft to touch. And by tomorrow it will fade out. This is the factuality about how much poetry can you write. It is soft. Now you can't go on writing it is soft. Only 5 sentences. A scientist would only make 5 sentences. A Vedanti also would say, in fact, a Vedanti would reduce the 5 sentences to 1. He would say it is anatma. It is objectified. Objectifiedness is not available for interpretation. I would take that fundamental stand. How do you interpret the objectifiability subjectively? So, the objectifiability is not available for interpretation. Similarly, unobjectifiably evidentness of the subject is also not available for subjective interpretation. The object is evident as objectified, the subject is evident as unobjectified. Therefore, the unobjectifiability of the subject cannot be interpreted subjectively. I mean, it need not be distorted, cannot be distorted. Similarly, the objectifiability of the object is not available for interpretations. Ultimately, we have to come down to that. Because the vadis do come about, because human brain is such that really, after all, sweet, you may say sugar is sweet. Another person says, what is sweet for you, it is bitter for him. All these things come about. All right, sir. It may be sweet or bitter, but it is objectifiable perception. The objectifiability of the universe cannot be quibbled about. The unobjectifiable evidence of the subject. The evidence of the subject, despite being unobjectifiable, and that it is unobjectifiable, and yet it is evident, and that also cannot be quibbled about. It is Vastu Tantra. And therefore here, Pratyakshadi Pramana Vishaya Vastu, Jnanavati Vastu Tantra, Evam Bhutasyam, Brahmanaham, Tajnanasya Cham, Na Kayachid Yuktya, Shakyaha, Karyan Praveshaha, Kalpayitum, Evam Bhutasya, of this nature, Brahmana, Brahman which is of this nature. Tat Jnanasya Cha, meaning both the existence of Brahman and the understanding of it. The existence of Brahman as well as understanding of it. Understanding of it means correcting the error about it. Tat jnanasya cha, dono ka. Na kayachid yuktya, kisi yukti se bhi. Kayachid yuktya. Kayachid yuktya means kisi yukti se bhi. Na shakyaha, it's not possible. Karyanu praveshaha kalpayatu, to imagine their entry into the realm of karma. Karya anupraveshaha. Karya anupravesha means their entry into the realm of karma. Na shakyaha kalpayatum, even to imagine it's not possible. We cannot imagine that the Brahman can be an upasya. Now please see. Brahman cannot be literally one of the karakas. In order to enter the realm of karma means to become one of the karakas. That is called. To be a karaka, to be one of the karakas is the way of entering the realm of kriya. Now, Brahman cannot be an object of action or literally the subject of action or object of action or means of action. Nor really the understanding of Brahman is one of the karakas. Because understanding Brahman is understanding the falsity of the karakas. Correcting the error means what? Understanding myself as Brahman means correcting the error that I am not a karaka. Similarly, understanding that there are no karaka, that means subject-object division is false. The subjectness of the subject, the objectness of the object, and the means of the means are all false. Therefore, understanding Brahma is by way of falsifying the realm of karakas. Therefore, that falsification, that kind of jnanam cannot be another karaka. Another karaka. Therefore, Brahmanaha evam bhutasya Brahmanaha tat jnanasya cha kayachid yuktyapi, kisi yukti se bhi na shakyaha, it's not possible kriyanupraveshaha kalpayutum, to imagine their entry into the realm of karma. Clear? Therefore, you can't make Brahman an object of, literally you can never make Brahman an object of thought, an object of action. And even when we worship Brahman, even when we make Brahman an object of our meditation, an object of our mental worship, we know very well it is upasana. We don't take it as literal. If a Vedanti does Brahma upasana, he knows very well, Bhagavan, you are not an object of upasana, but then really, well, I want to know your Swarupa, and then therefore I worship you so that you can prepare me for knowledge. That is why, even when we do Arati, you see, the Natatra Suryo Bhati, see, we make it very clear. Bhagavan, well, you Natatra Suryo Bhati, you are indeed the one which need not be illumined by Suryaha, Natatra Suryo Bhati, Nachandra Tarakam, Nema Vidyato Bhanti, Utoyam Agnihi. The sun and the moon cannot illumine you, the lights can't illumine you. What to talk of this small little lamp burning through dalda. See, this is a small little wick. It is just burning through some dalda, local dalda. And nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agnihi. Kutoyam agnihi. How can this lamp illumine you? How can this small little lamp flame illumine you? In fact, so tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. In fact, you are effulgent, you are indeed self-effulgent, and in the light of your self-effulgence, everything else is evident. You are self-evident, and everything else is evident after you. This is what we call, even when we do upasana, and we know that it is upasana for a purpose. And therefore, neither it can become literally an object of upasana or a thought or a feeling or anything. Why? Because that is indeed the aparoksham. And upasana are all valid for certain fruits. That's okay. But don't convert the Vedanta Vakyas also into upasana Vakyas. Nacha vidikriya karmatvenam karyanupraveshaham brahmanaham anyadeva tadviditat atho aviditatati iti vidikriya karmatva pratishedha. Now you have to. Now see, you know by now what is upasana. It is a Purusha Tantra Vyapara. It is a Purusha Tantra Vyapara. It is a subjective feeling, attitude, emotion, belief. Totally subjective. And this is called upasana. Understanding a fact as it is either sense-evident or self-evident is called jnana, which has in which there is no Purusha Tantra Vyapara, which is totally unlike the karma. Are you able to follow? Karma. You have to follow. Because ascent is life. Understanding fire as hot is different from looking upon it as fire devata. That is, fire devata is a Purusha Tantra, that it is hot, is Vastu Tantra Jnana. Thus we know the difference between Vastu Tantra Jnanam and Purusha Tantra Vyapara. Subjective stuff and understanding the facts as they are. Now we are entering into a new technical term. We are just being introduced to. This is also important. Vidhi Kriya. Vidhi. Vidhi is different from Vidhi Kriya. Vidhi Kriya is different from Upasana. Upasana is subjective. Vidhi Kriya is when I know the object, a material object, a sense object, as revealed by the senses, I know the object as it is revealed by the senses, involving no subjectivity at all, and objectifying an object and knowing it is what is called Vidhi Kriya. It is Vidhi, it is knowledge, not Upasana. It is knowledge, not Upasana. Clear? But it is in the form of Kriya, because what I know is a Karaka. I am a subject of that knowledge. I understand, I know the object becomes the karma, I become the karta, the senses become the karana. Therefore, there is a kriya. Technically it is what? Vidhi kriya. It is an act of knowing. It is not Purusha Tantra Vyapara Rupa Kriya, but it is an act of knowing the facts as they are. So even though that Vidhi Kriya is not a Siddhanti's term, Vidhi Kriya is a Purvapakshi's term. Because this Vidhi itself, we don't accept it as a Kriya. It is a Bhranti. Even knowing the Ghataha as a Ghataha in the eyes of Vedanta is what? It is a Bhranti about Brahman, and Bhranti cannot be a Kriya Rupam. It is not an action, it is a distorted perception rather than performance of an action. Therefore, knowing the universe as it is, knowing the entire scientific vision of the universe is indeed Vidhi Kriya. This Vidhi Kriya cannot be as an act, literally an act of knowing. That it is an act of knowing is Anuvada, but in actuality, in the eyes of Vedanta, it is not Vidhi Kriya. It looks Vidhi Kriya, but fundamentally, this Vidhi Kriya looking phenomenon is a Bhranti in Brahman. So, as per the Purvapakshi, it is Vidhi Kriya, but this Vidhi, now we accept, okay, yes, Ghataha is knowing a pot as it is Vidhi Kriya, knowing fire as it is Vidhi Kriya, and a scientist knowing, the world as it is, understanding the world as it is, also is called Vidhi Kriya. But Brahman cannot be an object of even Vidhi Kriya. Why? Because if Brahman has to be an object of Vidhi Kriya, he has to become an object of the senses. If he is not an object of the senses, then he cannot be an object of Vidhi Kriya. Therefore, here Bhashyakara is dismissing, hey, don't look upon Brahman as an object of Vidhi, objective knowledge. Neither it is an object of subjective attitude, nor is it an object of objective knowledge. Because in order to get the objective knowledge of anything, it has to be, I say as it is, the moment you say quote unquote as it is, how do you decide as it is? As it is means as it is revealed by the senses, or as it is Anubhava Siddham. If it is Atma as it is Anubhava Siddham, and if it is an object, as it is revealed by the senses. Otherwise subjectivity will enter. In Pramana Siddhatvam there is no variety. In Swata Siddhatvam there is no variety. Therefore whenever we say as it is, if object as it is means as it is revealed by the senses. And truth as it is means you must know the truth as it is. Suppose somebody says, Vedanta, all these things, these are all, subjective theories, but the truth, it's all, bias is there, because written by a human mind. Therefore, you have to know the truth as it is. You tell him, how do you decide as it is? How do you decide that as it is-ness, how do you decide? You come to know in your own way and say that is how it is. है ना? जैसे मैं जानता हूं वही है as it is. इतना आसान है. ट्रूथ के बारे में बात करते हैं, सब छोड़ो. All that you should know the truth as it is. The word truth they use, you should know the truth as it is. Just because you roll your eyeballs up, it doesn't mean, really, you roll your eyeballs up and you know the truth as it is. If the student is intelligent, your errors don't count. For a student, the speaker's errors don't count. For an intelligent person, rolling the eyeballs up and spiritual airs like this. Truth as it is. Who is interested in all that stuff? Therefore, how do you decide? The object as it is means I don't know as it is revealed by the senses is as it is. I should know the self as it is means the subject as it is evident, Anubhava Siddham. And if I really track my own experience of what I am, you can't really misinterpret it. The evidence of the subject as the Advitiya truth is self-evident. That it is Advitiya means self-evident. And it gets confused with the limited is also is evident. Therefore, the Brahman is not only Upasana Kriya Vishayam, it is also not Vidikriya Vishayam. Both you have to take into account. Now what do you do? Now where will you go? Brahman is not an object of subjective thought. Brahman is also not an object of objective thought. Therefore, you can't even now talk in terms of really, you should be subjective and objective. You should not be subjective, but you should be objective. But Brahman is not an object of your objective thought. Objective thought means looking at the object as it is. It's called objective thought. Looking at Sugar as sweet is called being objective. Looking at the things as they are. Education can never be in terms of imposing views and ideas and subjective thoughts on the objects. Say you look at a banyan tree, oh how beautiful it is. What beautiful it is? I mean, really speaking, what is the great beauty in it? Huge banyan tree. It is like any other tree. It is green to look at. And you touch it and there is a touch. And then you taste it, it has a taste. It has touch. It has smell. That is the big banyan. And you take a small banyan tree, it has the same form, audibility, taste, touch, smell. And you go to a big mountain, what is it? Visible, form. That means all these objects have Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. If you look at the universe as a host of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, you are being objective, bas. You are being objective. Now Brahman is not a Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Therefore you can't even make Brahman an object of your object. Therefore, by being subjective you can't know the truth. By being very objective also, you can't know the truth. And that is why don't unnecessarily strain your tongue. You better go to a guru. Pariksha lokan karmajitan nirveda mayat brahmanaha. Go to a sadhu who knows the Shastra and tadvijnanartham sa guru meva vigachet samitpanehi shrotriyam manishtam. Go to it. कहीं काले कमले क्षेत्र होगा उधर थोड़ा रोटी ले लो बैठ के शास्त्र पढ़ो. These exercises you leave. And these exercises are not easy to leave. Every modern educated person, he goes about saying, I am in search of truth. I have to be very objective. What objective? I am meditating and I am seeing a light these days. And say, when you are seeing light, tell me, sometimes it is vidikriya, sometimes it is sheer imagination. How can you see the light? Closing eyes. I think I have conveyed this. Brahman is not a vishaya, upasana, kriya. It is also not vidikriya. Bhagavan says here, please see. Nacha vidikriya karmatvena, as an object of vidikriya. Karyanupravesha brahmana. Brahman cannot enter the realm of, cannot enter the realm of kriya by way of being an object of vidikriya. Alright, if it cannot be an object of upasana, maybe it can become an object of vidikriya. Says no, it cannot be an object of vidikriya. Therefore it can never become a karaka. Therefore it can never enter the realm of kriya. Nacha vidikriya karmatvena karyanupravesha brahmana. Why? Because Upanishad says, Anyadev tad viditad atho aviditad ati. You can put a mark here, this we will see next class. See this next. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. You know, and now class is over. Now relax. You know, in India, we have a beautiful saying in Punjabi. Guru bina jnana nahi. कहते हैं ना Guru bina jnana nahi. Something. You say it in Punjabi, it sounds nice. Guru bina jnana nahi. You know, when it came into vogue, Meaning Atma Jnanam can never be gained without Guru. Guru means here Veda Shabda Pramana. Because Guru stands for Shabda Pramana. It is Shabda Pramana. That is how it began. That is how it began. Nowadays, Shabda Pramana is out. Having a Guru means what? You have to have a Guru. Formality means humko Guru banana hai. Having a Guru, that really is necessary for my moksha. Actually, Guru stands for Shabda Pramana. Otherwise, what do I do with the Guru? What do I do with the Guru? And I have to collect bhiksha for Guru also. See, I don't mind really doing seva to the Guru, provided he is teaching Shabda Pramanam. That Shabda Pramana, the implication is gone. Only person, Guru को बना दिया. स्वामी जी बिना गुरु मोक्ष मिल सकती है? तो नहीं मिल सकती है. तो आप बताओ कहीं अच्छा गुरु मिल. What are these people? People are really don't understand at all. See, Guru means Shabda Pramana. Shastra means the one who teaches Shastra is a teacher. I get it. Guru does not mean immediately imagine things. Guru is also like you. Guru means a person. You having understood, you start teaching, you become Guru. Guru means what? Teacher. And Guru Dham, this Guru Shabda has been played on and they created a Guru Dham. And we created unnecessarily one Krishnamurti. There was no need to create a Krishnamurti. Because Krishnamurti we created, because we created Guru Dham and he went about breaking it. Not that he broke it properly. He broke it in the process of breaking, he smashed it. Uska koi prayojan hi nahi hua. Because that breaking Guru Dham created further problems. You see, Guru Dham excludes Shabda Pramana. When he broke Guru Dham, then also he excluded Shabda Pramana. Then what is the point? Supposing you broke the Guru Dham and highlighted the Shabda Pramana, I would appreciate. Great. I would salute you. I would definitely salute you. But people created Guru Dham and excluded Shabda Pramanam and they broke the Guru Dham and also not only excluded, in fact, you exclude it, very vocally. I can't, what is the use of it? What is the use of it? Therefore, there is no use of any Guru or Guru Dham. Guru stands for Shabda Pramanam, Shastram. Therefore, leaving it, what Guru? So, our problems and problems. Objective, subjective. Very little, I don't want it. Really messed it up. Hari Om Ji. Please come. Hari Om Ji. Namah Shivaya. Thank you. Thank you. If he had discerned between Gurudam and Shabda Pramana, then he would have been a part of our Sampradaya. But instead of discerning between Gurudam and Shabda Pramana and Guru, Shabda Pramana and Guru, and on one side, and Gurudam on the other side, and if we had discerned it, we would have worshipped. Many would appreciate. He messed it up. He messed it up in such a manner, Papa. Messed it up so much, there was more reaction against Vedanta. See? He would say Vedanta is man-made. These are all creation of man. The words that you are speaking are also words coming out of man anyway. Shabda as a sound, of course, is a part of creation. Don't say Shabda is a man-made. Shabda is not made by man. Shabda is a part of creation. Like the universe, Shabda is not my creation. Like my eyes are not my creation. So Pramanam is not my creation. Shabda also as Abhidhanam is not my creation. Shabda as Abhidhanam is not my creation, because creation has both Abhideya and Abhidhana. Abhidhana, Abhideya, Bhava is not my creation. In fact, we haven't created anything. I find myself in this form with the Pramanas and Prameyas, and also Shabda as Abhidhanam, and also Shabda as Pramana. It is available. Shabdam is also available as Pramanam. So how can you say Vedanta is man-made? That is why, minus the parampara, minus that particular touch of parampara, it will be imagining, it will be reactionary. It's all reaction. There is no cool, quiet pursuit of truth. There is no quiet, cool, cheerful pursuit of truth. There is always a reaction. He had law, it was reactionary. Because he was so involved in reaction, therefore, just a very few elementary thoughts went on repeating. With few elementary thoughts. In order to be friends, we don't have to read, we don't need to belong to same religion. We don't need to belong to the same religion to be friendly, which is a very, very elementary thought. Anybody can appreciate it. Which is true. But these human beings, that itself is a huge thought. See? You don't have to be. So we can belong to different labels and still be friendly. Is a nice thought, very healthy thought. That's enough. Went on. And then the most of his discussion pertained to running down the religions, including Vedanta. Have you read Vedanta? No. Then how do you know? What is written there? How do you know? Then he says, let us think together. What is there thinking together? It's not really an agreement reached among 10 people doesn't become truth. You see? Let us think together. Now we all think together and reach an agreement. Can that become the truth? Truth is not based on consensus. Please understand. Truth does not depend upon consensus. Huh?
They use the word dogmata. What has become dogma? Originally was dogmata, means mat.
A mat is a kind of a consensus. It's a consensus view. It is also a view. It's a collective view. Consensus. Samanvaya does not mean consensus. Samanvaya is something else. Samanvaya is really non-contradiction between the Vakya, Nyaya and Anubhava. not samanvaya between two jivas. The manifold jivas don't come. The universal nyaya, there is a nyaya, there is anubhava and the vakya. Vakya, anubhava and nyaya. There is agreement. This agreement is not reached. There is a choiceless agreement. Not reached. Not hammered out agreement. It's not hammer out some kind of consensus. At moment he says, let us sit together. If you don't know what the truth is all about, then people will come. So he says, let us think together, and then he goes on saying what he wants to say. Why don't you give him also an opportunity to say things? Or you say, I have something to say, you hear and think about, and if there is any problem, you can ask us. You just better hear. And also think, and if there is a problem again, then just, say. As a human being is a good person, better than all these jokers. A lot of. You have a ceremony. You have a birthday celebration. What is this birthday? Thousands of people come to you from all over the world to, pay their respects to you. Thousands of people, even Swamis come. And you sit with your eyes closed on a pedestal. They have come to pay respects to you on your birthday. And when they have all spoken, you should get up and say a few words thanking them all. And when they have done all that, he simply closes again, second time he closes his eyes. And then he says, now let us meditate. What is all this? These are all airs. Such great Mahatmas have come. They have spoken, they have paid their respects to you. Please get up and say at least, thank you all. Why don't you want to be like any of them? You want to sit in the pedestal and say, now let us meditate. As if really the Mahatmas who have come there, they don't know what is meditation over there. Say, among these, a Hansa, among other Hansas, doesn't, boast of how white it is. The others are also white. Others also are white. You understand? Others are also white. There are so many Mahatmas. You don't have to put on airs. Be one of them and say something nice. Please thank you, you see. And he doesn't even say thank you. He says, now let us meditate. What is all this? This is not airs. It is all nothing but airs. We don't want this kind of spirituality. We want people to sit and talk to the people about their culture. Talk to them about values. Talk to them their literature. Talk to them Vedanta. Talk to them. Shabda Pramana. Talk to them. Rather than collect all of them and make them close their eyes. And then you also close your eyes. And then sit down. Silently for how long? For half an hour. And then go. And soft music. What is all this? These are new, these are Western stuff. हमारा देश में ये सब नहीं था. हमारे देश में सब श्रवण होते थे. पढ़ना, लिखना, and then पढ़ाना, श्रवण करना, मनन करना. There is a vada, vivada. It's nice, samvada. Bhagavan Krishna, when Arjuna said, I have a problem, Krishna didn't say, let us meditate. Krishna never said, let us sit and meditate. He had to really talk to him. It is vidya, please. Ultimately, what helps us is the vidya. And our shastra is in the form of vidya. That vidya is what we want. We are relegating the shastra and going into another direction called some kind of spirituality. Minor shastra, what spirituality can you ever know? What spirituality can human beings ever know independent of Shastram? It is not another book, prophet written book. It is a Shastram. There is not one reference to any label or anything, religion, so this Hindu, vagaira, vagaira. It's a kuchhe nahi. It talks to really, there is only reference to a jiva and his swarupam. That is Shastram. You see, Shastram addresses to a prani. What talks to a prani is a Shastram. What talks to a Muslim or what talks to a... that is not. Therefore, people say, Swamiji, why don't you teach meditation? Meditation, everybody is doing meditation. Why should I also join the forces? Why should I have never conducted a meditation class because, all right, we all sit together with eyes closed. Then what do we do? Sit quiet. And that is not a big achievement, sitting quiet. You can do it at home. All the way you come here, just to sit quiet for half an hour and again go back. What is the use? Without Vidya. So I can't really, even though some of the students say that, I say that is not the thing, you better listen and try to understand. If you can't understand, then again there is no point in meditation also. If you understand, there is no point in meditation. If you don't understand, then also there is no point in meditation. Therefore you better keep trying to understand. What is said. Hari Om.